Get in, let me take you home. Single mom helps an old man walk in the rain. The next day, his life-changing truth is revealed. The rain fell with a kind of fury that made the world blur into black and silver. The kind of storm that forced people to rush past each other without a second glance. But amid the chaos of honking cars, splashing tires, and drenched pedestrians, a single mother named Alina noticed something others did not. She saw an old man standing at the edge of the road, soaked to the bone, clutching a thin grocery bag and leaning heavily on a trembling walking stick. His eyes, tired and lost, searched the passing crowd for help, but no one slowed down. And something in that moment gripped her heart, the exhaustion in his shoulders, the quiet acceptance of being invisible, unwanted, forgotten. Before she could think twice, Alina stopped her battered old car beside him, rolled down her window, and whispered the words that would change both of their lives forever. Get in. Let me take you home. If you believe kindness still matters, and if you believe every good deed returns to us in ways we cannot imagine, please like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us spread more stories that heal and inspire. Alina stepped out into the storm, her thin shawl instantly soaked, her slippers slipping on the wet pavement. She gently walked the old man to her car, supporting his arm with care. Inside, he shivered quietly, as if unused to human warmth. She noticed how worn his shoes were, how the water dripped from his hair, how he held the grocery bag as though it contained something more precious than food. She drove slowly, listening to the rain batter the windows while he whispered instructions to a small, run-down neighborhood. When she helped him up the steps to a dim little house with peeling paint, something inside her cracked. No one deserved to spend old age like this. She left him with a promise that she would return tomorrow to check on him, though she expected nothing in return. The next morning, after dropping her son at school, she returned to the old man's house. Her life had never been easy. Her husband had abandoned her years ago, leaving her with debt, a broken heart, and a child to raise alone. She worked long shifts as a cashier, borrowed neighbors' help when her son was sick, and often slept hungry so her boy wouldn't have to. And yet, despite everything, kindness still lived in her like a stubborn flame. When she knocked on the old man's door, she expected silence. Instead, it opened almost immediately, and to her surprise, he seemed almost prepared, as if he had been waiting for her. He invited her inside, and the house looked entirely different in daylight. The walls were covered with dust, the furniture old but neatly arranged, and the photographs on the shelves told stories of a life once lived with joy. She noticed one picture in particular, a family portrait of the old man, a woman beside him, and a young girl around her own age. A soft ache passed through her. Before she could ask anything, the old man handed her the same grocery bag she had helped him carry last night. But this time, it was heavier. She opened it and froze. Inside were several neatly packed containers of food, fresh, warm, and clearly expensive. Beneath them was an envelope with her name written in careful handwriting. She looked at him in confusion, but he only nodded slowly, the kind of nod filled with peace and relief. She hesitated before opening the envelope. Inside was a letter, written in trembling script. As she began to read, her breath caught. He explained that after his wife passed away 2 years earlier, his daughter had moved abroad and rarely contacted him. His life had become painfully quiet, filled with long, lonely days and silent nights. Yesterday, standing in the rain, he had felt something he had never admitted before, that perhaps his life had nothing left worth holding on to, that maybe there was no reason to keep walking, keep waiting, keep hoping. But then Alina stopped. A stranger, a single mother who had nothing to spare except her heart. She saw him when no one else did. In the letter he wrote that after she left, he sat alone in the quiet house for a long time and cried, because for the first time in years he felt human again. He felt seen, he felt valued, and feeling that, he gathered the courage to call his daughter and tell her the truth, that he was lonely, struggling, and needed her. She broke down too, ashamed of how far she had let things go. She promised to come home in a few days and take him with her. But then came the part that shook Alina's world. The old man wrote that long ago, he had been the owner of a small chain of shops, a business he sold when he retired. One of those shops had once belonged to the family of a young woman, Alina's mother. Through a twist of fate and tragedy, her mother had lost everything when Alina was a child. Reading her file years back had haunted him, because he had realized he could have helped but didn't know how to reach her. Now, all these years later, life had brought him face to face with the daughter of the woman whose dreams never came true. He wrote that he had already spoken to his lawyer and decided to gift her something he hoped would ease her burdens, something that could help rebuild the dreams her mother once had. The letter ended with a simple sentence, "Thank you for giving me back the will to live." When Alina looked up, tears blurred her eyes. The old man wasn't asking anything from her. He didn't want pity. He only wanted her to know that a single act of kindness had changed the direction of two lonely lives. And what he gave her, she would discover in the coming days, was the deed to a small shop he once owned, now hers to begin a new life with her son. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more real, emotional stories to those who need hope. Before you go, tell us in the comments, do you believe one act of kindness can change someone's entire life?